Hello you guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I just filmed this whole video and I wasn't even in focus. So here we are, round two, but that's okay. Sometimes it's better to do it the second time because you kind of figure out what you actually want to say, and like, you know, if you miss something, you can add it in. Anyways, about to sit down and do a little bit of a financial reset just because I've been feeling pretty overwhelmed in a few different aspects lately of my finances. And then I thought to myself, I feel like I've never seen anyone really do one of these videos. So I thought we could sit down and do it together, and I could kind of walk you guys through the steps that I take to, I guess, like reset my budget, reset my finances, and also kind of like just get back on track. I don't necessarily think I'm like off the track, but I definitely feel like I'm veering off the track, and being halfway through the month is a good point for me to really assess my finances, see where I'm at, and just know it's never too late to make a change. Like, I am someone who, I am a self-sabotager by nature. It's something I've worked on in therapy, especially with my finances. And so I'm learning to work through my self-sabotage tendencies. What I mean by that is, for example, I have been spending a lot on eating out this month, which is not like me. And so my normal self would be like, it's fine, just throw the whole budget out the fucking window and we'll deal with it next month. But the new and improved me that's been in therapy recognizes I've maybe, you know, I've already spent over my allocated budget for eating out this month. I'm not going to restrict myself because I don't think that's healthy, but I'm going to be very conscious and intuitive going forward with how I spend money in that budgeted category and the things that I can do to maybe lessen the amount that I spend there, if that makes sense. So I'm super excited. I love these like chatty little finance videos, and I'm sure this will help you guys. If not right now, maybe in the future. You can save this video for later. Yeah, welcome to a little resetting my finances, mid-month reset, if you will. The purpose of doing this is to kind of just like take inventory of where I am right now. And it doesn't even always need to be from like a overwhelmed place. It can be from a good place too. I don't always do a mid-month money check-in, to be quite honest. I typically check in on my paydays, but because I have 3 of them this month, it kind of just like worked out to be like a mid-month check-in. And I do these even if I'm feeling good about my finances or if I'm feeling like shit about my finances. I do it regardless. You don't need to be in a place of like stress and overwhelm and anxiety about your finances to do a little mid-month check-in. I just think they're extra important to do when you feel like you're kind of getting off track with your finances. So I kind of just want to go through my budget, see what I can change or improve going forward, if I need to adapt my budget because maybe I had some spending that I didn't see coming or some categories changed. And honestly, I just want to say that even personal finance creators aren't perfect. No one is 100% perfect. I think it's really easy to see creators who film budget with me videos and all that jazz and think they're so perfect and everything goes according to plan and they always save XYZ amount of money and invest and they're never really over budget and life is all sunshine and rainbows. But shit happens. Shit hits the fan. It's life. I'm kind of like nervous to honestly post this because I have just been a spendy gal lately, but it's okay. I want this to show that even people who love to talk about personal finance are not perfect and make mistakes, and we all have our flaws. Mine is definitely on impulse spending. Thing I learned in therapy when I was talking about kind of self-sabotaging my finances and my relationship with my finances is to use mistakes and slip-ups and times of overspending as stepping stones to improving my finances and not letting them hold me back and continue to self-sabotage me. So super excited. Let's jump into it. Grab your budget, grab whatever you want, a beveragino, and let's do a little check-in on our finances. So the first step that I like to do is just get organized in all aspects. That includes my wallet and my purse because I have a tendency to throw every receipt in my purse and then not touch it until the end of the month when I do my bookkeeping, and I am an anxious hot mess and I usually end up crying. So I really want to go through my purse, pick out the receipts that I need to keep, set those aside, throw out the ones that I don't. I feel like we're in a season right now of buying things and returning them, just like engagement party and just stuff with the house going on. So I feel like I'm holding on to a lot more receipts than usual. So I just want to make sure that anything that's in my wallet I need to keep, and if I don't, I can throw it out. And then I also want to organize my wallet. Now I just use a card holder, so I don't have to worry about anything like a big wallet that folds out, but I currently have 2 wallets because I usually bring a cheaper wallet with me when we go on vacation, and then when we came back from Florida, I didn't transfer my cards back to my normal wallet, or all of them. So there's been instances where I've been out and about and all I have is an Amex and they only take MasterCard or Visa, or like I'm at Costco where they just take MasterCard, and I'm fucked because I don't have a method of payment. So I want to go through, organize my purse and my wallet, make sure all the appropriate cards are in their appropriate slots. And I think that's a good place to start, that's not like jumping into your budget and your finances right away and like being stressed. The next thing I want to do is organize my budget. I have been avoiding this. I have an avoidant personality, which is probably not shocking. And I don't think that I've been spending like insane uberant amounts of money, but because I'm someone who does the multiple credit card system, like I have a purpose for every credit card I use, it can get a little overwhelming, and right now I'm waiting for a lot of refunds. So for example, my Amex has like, I'll show you guys how I break it down after too in my notes app, but my Amex, I'm waiting on a reimbursement from work for a conference. My Neo card I'm waiting for a refund from Airbnb. My TD Visa, I've just been like buying a bunch of dresses for the engagement party. I'm like the kind of person who wants to buy everything at once, so my credit card looks like very alarming, but it's because I'm waiting for returns to process. So that also doesn't help, and it makes me feel super overwhelmed when I see like really high credit card balances across like all of my credit cards, but I'm waiting for money. So I just want to organize the returns and like how much I actually owe my credit card. When you see a credit card that's like $3,000, you're like, oh my fucking god, like what did I do? But then I remember that I bought like, I don't know, let's say, and so I just need to like outline what's a return, how much I actually owe on the credit card, and map all that out, and that will help calm me down. I highly recommend making a little list on your notes app, and I can show you guys what mine looks like. It brings me a lot of peace because like I said earlier in this video, I get very overwhelmed when I see like a high credit card bill, even though I know that that's not how much I owe. So I always do like a little breakdown of how much I actually owe, which is why you guys will see the OOP, which is out of pocket. So I'll kind of take you guys through what that looks like. So at the top of my little app, I have my breakdown. This is which card I use for what purpose. I also feel like I need to do a little bit of like a redelegating purposes. I've just been like tap, 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 tap. And because I'm someone who like tries to get the most points possible with my credit card, I have to use certain cards for certain purposes. So I recently just got the PC Financial MasterCard because Matt and I are in our PC Optimum era. And so that one I use specifically for gas. I always go to like a PC affiliated gas place. Groceries at Superstore, and then anything I get at Shoppers Drug Mart. And then my TD Aeroplan Visa is like my just like random personal spending. I think I'm going to close that one soon though, because I do have the Aeroplan business Amex, and so that gets me way better Aeroplan conversion points. And then the Neo card, I really like having a card set aside for whatever my like short-term savings is. This isn't sponsored, but I always have my Neo referral link down below for you guys. I like having a credit card that can be used for a specific purpose, especially if you're doing like a lot of returns and stuff, because I just can't have it all be on the same card. It gives me so much anxiety. So I've been using my Neo card for anything engagement related that we've been getting, and so I like having a card for all those purposes. It also makes it easier for me to budget it out. So the Polaroid is on there, anything I've thrifted, the dresses, etc. And then my Amex Cobalt, that one I use because I have a lot of cards that have specific purposes. That one I only use for restaurants, food delivery, and then streaming and whatnot, because anything travel I put on my Aeroplan card. But that is kind of the breakdown of my credit cards. So I'll kind of show you guys an example of what this looks like. For example, my Amex Cobalt has a $1,500 current balance, and then I put in brackets OOP, out of pocket, I owe $358, because I look at that balance and I'm like, oh my gosh, where am I going to find $1,500 to pay off this credit card? And then I remember, if I look, okay, I have this return, and then work owes me XYZ amount of money, so out of pocket I actually only owe $358. Same thing with my TD Visa, which is like my everyday spending card. That one, it has a current balance of $184, but I have a bunch of returns, which I guess I can actually do the math on. So for example, out of pocket right now, I owe $38 on that, which is a lot better than like $184. And so this is just a really nice breakdown for my credit cards, especially if you're using multiple credit cards like I do and you get kind of overwhelmed. So I wanted to just share that with you guys super quick. And then just break down the purchases that I've actually spent so far. My armchair is like stuck in my desk and it's like making that farting noise. Break down the purchases that I've actually spent that I'm keeping that aren't returns, and see how much I've actually spent, because I have a feeling it's less than I think it is. It's just that like all my credit cards like look so out of this world. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna fill in my transaction log and just kind of go through my spending. I think taking the time to go through my transactions on my credit card is a really great way for me to reflect and just kind of see my spending. It's so easy to just tap your credit card, but then when you're forced to kind of write everything out and, you know, put it in the correct category, you really get a feel for where your money's been going. Build all that out. We'll kind of go through my budget and then we'll move on to the next step. But let's get organized. Let's take some time to do that. Filled out my budget. I was gonna do a little screen share, but honestly, I haven't really done anything besides spend money, which sounds bad. I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean I pay myself a dividend from the business on the 22nd of the month. So I haven't really received any money to save or invest yet besides my auto investments, which are $50. So there's nothing really like exciting to show you guys. Go through my expenses and just kind of get organized like in my brain and talk things out. That really helps me out. The overall expenses, like this is why I need to sit down and have a little refresh and reset, because you guys know I don't really pay too much attention to these budgeted categories because obviously things come up, and you know, for example, we spent a bit more in house and home, but that means that maybe I'm not like spending so much in shopping, etc. Like I'm pretty good with like in my head knowing how much I'm like comfortable with my credit card being and being able to shift and allocate priorities as needed. But this like actual amount is a little alarming. Like $1,100, it's the 13th of the month. That's everything I've actually purchased. That's like not including returns and stuff. And this month I wanted to spend around $1,300 or $1,400. So I really need to get it in check. I really need to take a little bit of a reality check situation, pill, drink, whatever you call it. Groceries are actually doing pretty good. Matt and I have just been really diligent about splitting groceries, and I haven't really done an impulsive grocery run. So I'm really proud of myself for that. Meal kit, I mean, like we don't really ever go over on that because it's just like on auto ship every week. Coffee shops, once again, not bad. I was over by $1.66. Eating out, I'm sorry, what the actual F, Carter? First of all, we barely eat out, but I have been on a roll of eating out breakfast. I don't know why. I think it stemmed from being on vacation last week and just like wanting to treat myself 24/7. And then also because we're doing like the backsplash and stuff, we've just been eating out a lot more because it's been, not that the kitchen's been like unusable, but Matt and his brother have been like working in the kitchen. I just like don't want to get in the way and make dinner. It's kind of hard when they're grouting both sides of the kitchen. So we've just been doing a bit more takeout than usual, but I think we kind of expected that going into this month. Appointments, I haven't spent any money. I haven't really gotten my nails done or anything. Shopping is lower. I expect this to be at the full $150 though, because I'm just deciding on engagement party dress right now. So that will probably be at the like full $150 amounts. Gas, a little bit lower than usual, so that's great. Treating others, I don't know what this was for, but oh, it's because we had a wedding, my brother's graduation. I ended up using a $50 I had on me from selling something, so I'm not really counting that in my budget. It like equals itself out, but I will be giving my brother $100 for graduation, or Matt and I will split it, so $50 for me. House and home, we kind of expected this. This was, we paid Matt's brother to help us with the grout. Health and wellness, I haven't spent anything. Engagement, once again, because the engagement party was a little bit of a recent decision, this is just coming out of my normal budget because honestly I'm not really doing too much. Like my parents are, you know, getting the tent, the food, all that stuff. I'm just buying anything that like I want there. So for example, I've really been wanting a Polaroid camera for, I was gonna buy one for a Disney trip actually, and then we decided to have like a little guest book area for the engagement party, and it kind of seemed like the perfect time to buy the Polaroid, and we'll have it forever. So I've just been making purchases here and there. I'm trying to think of the other thing that I bought. Oh, I got some stuff at Value Village, which I'll show you guys in a vlog. Oh, and then I got some makeup, which I'm trying to decide. I think I'm going to do my own makeup for that and maybe potentially the wedding, so I got a few products to try out, but to be expected. It's not like I've been like going crazy with buying things, but I wasn't really expecting to like spend in that category until we realized we were having an engagement party. Amazon, once again, like I'm not upset with these purchases. I bought 2 bras and I'm really happy with the quality of both of them. And then I'm trying to think of what else I bought. I was really good this month about like, if I impulse bought something on Amazon, I would like cancel the order. Fiber supplements, I bought 2 bras, some acne patches, and oh, I bought some handles for the calyx, which technically could go under House and Home, but I'm not getting that like specific. And then I bought a new blush. So that's like a little overview of where I've been spending my money. And this is already an expensive month because we have property taxes coming out. So I really need to take this time to reflect and figure out kind of the little changes I'm gonna make going forward. Self-sabotage myself the whole month. All right, the next step is resetting our budget. Like I said, I just feel like I've been spending without a purpose or a plan, and I just need to do a little bit of a reset and a refresh and make a little bit of an action plan. So I think this is also a really good time to like go through your subscriptions. I feel like you could do this like in a general sense. Like if you're just feeling overwhelmed in all aspects of your budget, it's a good time to go in and really evaluate, you know, your subscriptions and your spending overall. For me, it's like a few specific categories. I still want to go through my subscriptions, my bills, my checkings, my credit card, just like make sure everything kind of lines up. This is the time where, you know, for example, your savings might end up being a bit lower that month because you had to pay your credit card bill off, which was higher than you thought. Really just tweaking where you need to. I do want to suggest one thing that's worked well for me as an impulsive shopper, something I'm working on, is I have a like little Oopsies bank account that always has a couple $100s in it. It kind of like fluctuates, but I always have a couple $100s in there because I know I'm not perfect. I know that I'm going to make impulsive purchases here and then, and this month I won't use it. But if I'm having a month where I've like spent impulsively and I need to cover that, I'll use the Oopsies account to cover that and not feel like I have to like, you know, go into debt or take from my savings and stuff. So that is a tip that I have that works really, really well for me. And now I really just want to reflect on my budget and reset and make small tweaks where I feel like I need to. So one thing for me I really want to work on the rest of the month is my eating out. And one thing I do for this, I used to be a huge eating out gal. When I was in university, I barely ate at home. And something I've noticed that helps is making sure that I have fun and good foods at home. So I am a hoe for breakfast. I love going out and grabbing a breakfast sandwich, smoothie bowl, like whatever it may be. And that's what I did a lot of this month. And so this week when we did groceries, I made sure to grab a bunch of fun things that I would normally go out and get and have them on hand at home. So I love going to get a bagel with cream cheese, so I made sure that we were stocked up on bagels and cream cheese. I made sure that we had eggs and bacon and things to make a breakfast sandwich at home. I also think it can be kind of a fun challenge to, you know, try and recreate your favorite breakfast sandwich at home. For example, Art of Bean has my favorite breakfast sandwich. It has dill mayo on it, and so I tried to like recreate it at home and make it like a fun little challenge. And obviously I'm not saying restrict the heck out of yourself. Like let yourself maybe go out to eat like once a week. That's what we do. But trying to make sure that I have good fun foods at home so I don't feel the urge to go eat out. Same thing with like I made a really yummy yogurt bowl this morning. It was so good and I didn't feel like the urge to go out and, you know, get breakfast. I do think having our Breville has really helped with coffee too, like investing in a good coffee machine, because we rarely ever go out to get coffee. The only time I go out to get coffee is if I have like a gift card, I'm not like running errands, or if I'm like meeting up with someone like my mom. We go every Saturday to get coffee and like I'm totally okay with that. For me, for example, that is how I'm going to kind of like reset my budget for the rest of the month, is just, you know, making sure that my eating out category, I'm not going to restrict myself. Like we're still going to eat takeout on Fridays, but making sure that I'm not kind of going overboard and having those good foods at home so I don't feel the need to eat out. Another one that we're trying to figure out is the wedding budget. We honestly have no idea what we're doing. We just like have a lot of other big life changes that kind of are coming first. So I haven't really been putting any money aside in like our wedding budget. So that's why stuff for the engagement party is just kind of coming out of our regular accounts. That being said, if we were to like put a deposit on venue or something, that would obviously like we would have like some money set aside for that in our wedding budget, but when it comes to like little things, like I've been thrifting some stuff for the party and finding a dress, that's just been coming out of my normal budget, and I'm kind of okay with that. Maybe noting going forward for July is to kind of give myself some more room in the budget for that, but I can't really, like, I guess blame myself too much, because it was kind of like a little bit of like we made this decision in June, and so I'd already set my budget up, but now I'm just kind of tweaking some things to make room for it. The Amazon, honestly not awful. I've been pretty good about books this month, which is great too. Like I haven't really been buying any, so I'm pretty happy there. There's some things I can't control, like gas. Shopping I've been really proud of, honestly. I have not really been doing too much shopping for myself, so that's been really good. Yeah, I also think it's a good time too to know when you're doing good in a category that you normally spend a lot on, is to acknowledge like why things are going well and to be able to take those tips moving forward. So for me, it's groceries, and I've just noticed that I've been really good this month about when I'm bored, not hopping in my car and going to the grocery store. I've been like going for a walk, putting my phone down, because that's when I find I impulse shop the most, is when I'm bored. And so I'm making note that like, hey, that's been working really well for me. Let's carry this through to the end of the month and moving forward. Okay, the next thing I always like to do when I'm doing like a financial reset is to just check my credit score. The spreadsheet that I use has a little page for it, and I don't think I'm really gonna share that with you guys. I don't know if that's like too personal, or like, I just don't know if that's safe, so I'm not gonna share it, but I like that the spreadsheet that I use has a little tracker, and it'll put like green or red depending if it goes up or down. So that always, you know, usually makes me feel good. My credit score doesn't typically ever go down, so it feels good that it's always going up. And you can also, like, you know, add in your net worth if you like track your net worth. Step is just setting new goals and intentions for the rest of the month. Like I said, it's never too late to kind of turn your finances around, and there's just like a few questions I like to ask myself. So the first being, how do I want to feel about money going forward, like for the rest of the month? And for me, that is like, I want to feel good about my spending. I want to feel very intuitive and conscious about what I'm spending my money on, and not open my credit card and be like, oh my gosh, where, like, you know that feeling when you open your credit card and you're like, oh, my balance is $700, like where the hell did I spend $700? That is like the worst feeling in the world. So just being very aware of where your money is going. I also think too, I know this is like, we're talking about finances, but sometimes when I'm really in a rut, I have like 2 or 3 finance budget spreadsheets that I flip-flop between. And so I think that like maybe if you're in like a really big rut with your finances, trying a new budget spreadsheet out can be fun. I know they do like cost a little bit of money on Etsy, but you can maybe even make one yourself. Or find one like on Notion. But I do think that's like a fun way to spruce up and like get excited about your finances again. I'll also link down below, I have some like monthly and bi-weekly money check-in videos, as well as my most recent payday routine video, which kind of talks in depth about my whole payday routine. This is more of just like a, when your life and your finances feel like they're falling apart, this is what you can do to kind of feel a bit better about yourself. Yes, it's probably going to be a bit of a higher spend month than normal, because it's not like I can just stop spending for the rest of the month. Like I still need groceries, and I still need to, you know, do things and get gas and all that stuff. And just acknowledging that, like, you know, it's gonna be a bit of a higher spend month than normal, but you also have a fresh start next month. And like I said, it's never too late to shift your mindset to like, okay, let's just be very conscious about what we're gonna spend for the rest of the month, and take those, you know, habits that maybe weren't the greatest at the beginning of the month. We reflected on them, we were able to acknowledge them. I think it's so important to be transparent with yourself. Like, I was bored this month. I was bored when I was on vacation. Yes, it was fun to rest, but I was bored. I found myself scrolling. I found myself giving into TikTok, and being able to kind of acknowledge where your flaws are when it comes to budgeting is so important moving forward, because you need to be able to work with your flaws and not against them, especially when it comes to budgeting and finance. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little like getting back on track with our finances video. I do feel a lot better kind of going into the rest of the month. I feel like it's never as bad as you think it is. I mean, like, maybe sometimes, honestly, there has definitely been months where I've been like, yeah, this is a fucking shit show, but I feel good about, you know, going forward and kind of what I'm gonna do and my plan for the rest of the month. And I guess you guys will have to tune into my monthly reset for July to see how we do. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.